welcome to the realm. I'm Severin Mull here with my co-hosts Scotty Schemmel and Max DeCoux, and we're breaking down the NFL playoffs as we just gotten to witness the wild card round, the super wild card round with all sorts of games, most we've had. And then we look forward to the divisional round to see what kind of matchups are coming into play with some all-time greats. So, Scotty, what's the big takeaway from wild card?
So there were a lot of games, and it was an enjoyable weekend of football. But so the game that I was watching, the biggest game, I got to enjoy Saturday. It was good, three good games. But then Sunday came down to it, and Titans-Ravens, it was a really big matchup. Everyone knew it was going to be close, and the Ravens ended up taking it. I was disappointed because, being a Titans fan, it was hard to see. Derrick Henry struggled all day, and Tannehill he threw a few picks, and it was just a bad day for our team. And then the logo was stomped on after the game, and Lamar Jackson. But yeah, I am happy. I can say that I am happy to see Lamar get a playoff win because that was a big stomp that everyone was like, okay, well, he's the MVP, but he hasn't won a playoff game and all this and that. So I am happy to see that for him. But that was my biggest takeaway from the weekend, to see the Ravens move on to the divisional round. Max, what did you think?
So yeah, it was pretty sad to see Derrick Henry not go ballistic like he's been doing all season. But on the other hand, to see Lamar Jackson, who's had this hype year in and year out since he's made it to the league, it's good to see him go off for his explosion in that game. So other things that I found interesting from the first round, both the Steelers and the Seahawks getting upset in the wild card round.
Yeah.
Those were both teams that I think should have won their games, but both teams did not come out to play, especially the Steelers. Steelers was kind of disappointing.
It was,
Russell
yeah,
Wilson
after going,
too.
What was it, 10-0 or 11-0? So
It was
11-0.
Yeah, 11-0. It's just crazy that they struggled towards the end of the season and
collapsed.
Yeah, and then Baker Mayfield went out and scored. They had 24-0 to start the game. It was ridiculous. So
yeah, that's wild.
So that fell for them. So let's start with each matchup individually. We already talked about Ravens, Titans, Browns, Steelers. We talked about. Let's move on to Colts and Bills. Did you guys expect that, or what were you thinking?
I mean, I definitely expected the Bills to come out on top because they're a red hot team, and I mean, like their offense, they have just two scary people in Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. They're a well-rounded football team, but those are kind of the two biggest stars on the offensive side of the ball. And the Colts have a fantastic defense, but you look at the two teams with good defenses, but you just saw Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs.
Yeah,
you expect them to be able to show up. It was a good game, though. And the Colts got a lot of fight. Shout out Phillip Rivers, but at the end of his career.
Yeah. So what do you? Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you see for his career? You see one more, or do you think he's gonna call it? Because I think he'll call it after this year. I mean, I think he's done right now.
He did go off on a high note. I mean, it depends. He's got to talk to the Colts because he wants. Definitely not going to come back to be a backup. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, no. Max, what do you think? Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, I definitely think he's gonna call it. It'll be I could have wished he ended up winning something a little bit more as a Chargers fan. I love to see him on the Chargers throughout his career, but I think he's probably gonna call it a career after this year.
Yeah, I could see that. So the next matchup, moving on to the NFC, Buccaneers versus Washington, and the Buccaneers took it. It was still a pretty close game, but it was an expected win. How do you think Tom Brady performed? Sever.
Tom Brady. I'm a Jets fan. I don't like Tom Brady because he kills as a pitcher all this year. I mean, I don't hate the man, but I keep rooting for him. To maybe not pop off every time, but he's this old doing that. I mean, Washington football team didn't have a scary offense, but that's a decent defense, and he picked it apart. I mean, watching Antonio Brown, just all these people from years past just popping off. It's like an all-star team from a few years ago with Gronk and Tom Brady, and then Leonard Fournette doing his thing. I mean, I was really cheering for Washington the whole time, but I mean, Tampa Bay they kept answering, and their defense didn't look great, but Tom Brady, he's an all-time great.
Yeah. So Max, you got anything to say about this game? Chase Young, Tom Brady.
I'm a Chase Young fan. After hearing him talk his talk before the game, I was excited.
That's your Ohio State man.
Didn't really expect Washington to come out and win it, but it's still kind of sad to see them lose. But wasn't a big surprise.
Mm-hmm. All right, so on to the fifth matchup out of 6 games is the Rams versus Seahawks. We talked about that, and it was an unexpected win for the Rams, but they move on to the divisional round. And then on to the last matchup of Wildcard weekend was Bears Saints. And I think that was it was an expected game. I could have seen the Saints winning by more, but I mean, they played really good. So, you guys have anything to say about that game?
I'm an Allen Robinson fan, and so I mean, I'm happy to see him in the playoffs. It's not a place he's been very often, much at all.
Yeah.
And I mean, he didn't play bad, but he didn't show out. He didn't catch a touchdown. But I mean, I was really just pulling for the Bears just because I love Allen Robinson, and he's an underrated receiver. Hasn't really had a chance to play with a great quarterback. But yeah, the Saints, they are a loaded roster, and I mean, it's good to see them have success in the postseason because we got to see if they're capable of make a deep run because it seems like we're excited about them every year.
Yeah. Do you think it was a good decision to not play Nick Foles, or and you think Trubisky was a good choice, or what have you done?
I mean, they have to be thinking about. I mean, I don't know if you bench Trubisky, that's like kills his career's confidence, which he's already had so many issues with the team. I mean, either way, I don't think they're winning, but yeah, I mean, I probably would have benched him to see what Nick Foles could run the sparks and magic again.
Me too. Yeah. All right. So on to the divisional round. We have 4 games. We have the first matchup is Browns Chiefs. I think all 3 of us are going to say Chiefs win. I mean, it would be crazy to see Baker Mayfield go off and win that, go to the AFC Championship, but I just don't see it happening. I don't think anyone does. Yeah. And
I just think.
Yeah.
Oh.
What were you saying? Yeah. No, what were you saying?
I just think as much of a game as Baker Mayfield could possibly have,
mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes, he's gonna outplay you. I don't think there's much you can do.
Yeah.
It's kind of difficult.
So many more weapons too. So
yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's just not gonna happen. So Ravens Bills, this one can be disputed.
Yeah.
Severin, let's start with you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of the many Lamar Jackson fans since his college days, just because of how exciting of a player he was. But yeah, Lamar Jackson, he is going to have to make plays down the stretch because Josh Allen is a very capable QB, and that they're going to be able to score consistently. And Josh Allen has an arm and legs. Lamar Jackson has to be able to pick apart that defense because they're going to take away the run. We say that every time, but you can't bank on a 48-yard touchdown runs coming out of the pocket. But I mean, I want to say Ravens, but to me, this is a complete toss-up just because you have 2 really exciting young players. And I mean, the Ravens defense really showed out, but I mean, the Ravens are going to have to, that's the thing about the Ravens. They have to get to an early lead. If they get to an early lead, I think they win it. If they fall behind, it's going to be tough for them to be able to make up that ground.
Yeah. Max?
Yeah, this is definitely one of the
toss-up games.
This is probably my most anticipated and most toss-up game of this round. I think I want the Ravens to win it, but the Bills this season have shown very little weaknesses, and I think the Ravens are just one misstep away from losing that game.
Yeah, just stay in the league.
So my prediction is the Bills will take it, but I think it'll be close. I mean, it could really go either way, so I'm not going to say I fully think one team's going to win. Yeah, I think that what Severin said is right. It just really depends on the Ravens getting out early and scoring quick so that they can have that confidence to go with them the rest of the game. So that's the AFC, and then moving on to the NFC, the divisional round, Rams and Packers. This is one of those games. Is 1 versus 6. I think it's Packers all the way. But I mean, you never know what you can see from the Rams and Aaron Donald. So, predictions, guys.
Jalen Ramsey gonna have to work his tail off trying to lock up Devontae Adams. That's gonna be a rough matchup for him and the Packers. They've had an amazing offensive season this year. Rams defense is gonna have to try and shut down Aaron Rodgers like they did Russell Wilson, but I don't think that it's going to happen. The Packers have shown they're way too dominant this season.
Yeah, with Jalen Ramsey, who is a ridiculous talent and player. I mean, to me, the Rams, they have hope of being able to slow down that Packers offense, but offensively, the way Jared Goff could keep up with Russell Wilson, I don't think that's going to be a repeat. I mean, I know the run game really worked well for the Rams, and they were able to, get those touchdowns big in the second quarter and jump out to a lead. But to me, the Packers defense is going to suffocate that team that has struggled offensively lately, and they don't really have much going for them on the offensive side of the ball. And then all it takes is for the Packers to score a few touchdowns with Aaron Rodgers, which is very possible.
Very possible, quick. So they have a pretty good connection. So the final game is Buccaneers-Saints. The Buccaneers lost to them twice this season already, being in the same NFC South division. So I don't know if I could see them taking it, and the Saints are home again. So I don't think I'll see them taking it, but the Buccaneers do have a lot of hype around them. They do have a kind of an all-star team if you look a few years back, like Severin said earlier. So I think it really banks on all those guys just hitting their marks and playing like the best. Like all of them have to play like prime football. They all have to play like their best.
Yeah. I mean, I want to say Saints because but it's just the Saints. So many years in the regular season they haven't lived up to it. Mainly they don't have to play Minnesota, so they're cool right now. But yeah, to me, Tom Brady is so. Like, he's so good. Like, I could see him. Like, you can't count him out with those weapons. So, to me, this is as much as a toss-up as the Bills-Ravens. If I were to bet money, I would probably put money on the Saints, but I would not be confident at all just because Tom Brady with those weapons and a capable defense there's just no way you can say he can't win. So,
yeah, I completely agree.
I've been told time and time again, don't bet against Tom Brady because you don't know what's going to happen. Last season, he didn't make it out the first round, but that was with not nearly as close to an offense as he has this year. Even though he is older, I think he's definitely posing a threat to the Saints. It's not something completely unavoidable. The Saints have the capability to make it out of this round, but they are going to have to play.
Well balanced.
But they're going to have to come out and play.
Yeah, because the Saints, they just get so much production from everywhere. Like, everyone on that offense is productive. So, all right, well, thank you guys for watching and listening. If this is a podcast, like and subscribe, and we have a lot of new videos coming soon. We'll have another video on the AFC and NFC championships, including the Super Bowl. In depth, we'll talk about each of the teams that are playing, and we'll also have a lot of NBA videos and interviews. So just stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching. Max?
Sports Realm out.